What's up, guys? This is Nico from Limitless, and today we are taking a look at one of the, if not the strongest deck in Expanded currently. It took second place at Costa Meta Regionals. It's like a different list, so unlike the Drumper Garb video, that's not going to be the exact same list as Finnegan Lynch, because I don't agree with some of his choices, and yeah, let's get right into it. So first of all, obviously, we're playing a Zoroark deck. We have 4 Zorua with Paralyzing Gaze. Yeah, it's just the best expanded Zorua, so there's no point in not running it. I mean, that's the reason why the card went up to like 10 bucks each for the English version. So yeah, we have 4 of them. Then we have 4 Zoroark GX, pretty standard for any Zoroark deck. Trade, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and Righteous Beating. 20 for each of your Pokemon in play. And those two like aspects, like trade and righteous beating, are already like reasons why it's super strong in standard. But there are certain cards that buff these two things even more in expanded, which are like Exeggcute, which allows you to trade for free. I will talk about Exeggcute in a second, and Skyfield, which allows you to have up to 8 bench Pokemon. And yeah, that's pretty insane. And yeah, we also have one of the nasty plot foul play Zoroark from Black and White. It has a pretty nice attack to just copy one of the opponent's attack and use this attack. I mean, it's pretty similar to a lot of other Zoroarks, like the GX copies an attack with the GX attack. Then there's also like the break that copies the attack that was like, no, not even the attack that was used last turn, but yeah, one of the defending Pokemon's attacks. So yeah, it's basically, I think it's also called foul play even, but I'm not really sure. So we have one of them. You could also play the stand-in Zoroark, but there's not really a reason to. So yeah, we have the foul play Zoroark. It's mainly against Buzzwole, for example. Yeah, you don't have to fill up your bench, and you don't have to use a GX, and you can still take the KO onto Buzzwole. So yeah, that's pretty decent. And for our tech cards, we have one Sudowoodo. It's important in a format where Skyfield exists, and yeah, that's basically it. So you just try to limit your opponent when he wants to fill up his bench with stuff, especially in the mirror. So yeah, we have one Sudowoodo, and then we have one of the most talked cards after the last expanded tournament, which is Exeggcute, which also, similar to Zorua, went up insanely high in price. I mean, it used to be like a 10-cent common or something, and now it was at least at almost $10, euro, whatever. And the reason behind that is propagation. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you may put this Pokemon into your hand. And keep in mind that once during your turn doesn't mean you can only use it once. Once during your turn basically means, I mean, the wording is like pretty weird, because once during your turn would mean you can't like pick it up twice, like from the same spot in your discard pile, but because propagation always resets once you like discard it, then it doesn't really matter. So you can just still use it again. And yeah, that's the reason. Because of cards like Ultra Ball, abilities like Trade, also cards like Computer Search, you can just use them for free, and they're already strong when you have to discard for them. So yeah, you can expect how strong they are when you don't have to pay any cost for them. So yeah, for Exeggcute, which also has insane synergy with Zoroark, because you can just bench your Exeggcutes, and when they get discarded because your opponent kicks your Skyfield, puts down a Sudowoodo and something, you just discard your Exeggcutes, and afterwards you just pick them up again. So yeah, that's pretty insane. And yeah, for our draw support, we have 3 Shaman from Roaring Skies. I think everyone who played until at least like the previous season knows why the card is strong. Got a little bit overshadowed by Lele in the last tournaments in last season, but that's mainly because the format wasn't that explosive, because you had a lot of like Vileplume decks and slow decks that want to use Lele more than Shaman, and also Garbodor was a thing. So unless like turn 1 you like sometimes didn't even get to use any abilities. But here we want to like draw as many cards as possible in the early turns, get our setup. So we play 3 Shaman. And yeah, we also play 2 Lele, Wonder Tag, search your deck for supporter, Energy Drive. It's a decent attack, but usually won't be used that much, but it's still always something to keep in mind. Our supporter count is very weird because we're in expanded, so we have access to Verseeker again. That means we don't have like, if you look at standard decks, you have like one one-off maybe, and that's like attack supporter, and everything else is like 3 or 4 off, like 3 ends, 3 to 4 Cynthia, 3 Bridget in most decks, and only stuff like Lily you maybe play once, or Bridget in decks that like aren't Zoroark, but other than that you always run them like in the max amount. And in standard we have 1 Bridget only, which is kinda weird with Lele sometimes, because if it's priced you can't search for it, but on the other hand, stuff like Verseeker and Battle Compressor make the odds of getting Bridget if it's in your deck way higher. So unless it's priced, you always, not always, but most of the time can Bridget. One gets this, one of the most annoying expanded supporters, because you look at your opponent's hand and shuffle all the item cards back into their deck and draw a number equal to the amount of cards you shuffled back in. So yeah, that can be pretty disruptive turn 1. Only one Guzma, which seems very surprising, because usually you always see 4 unless you're playing like a deck that has Lycanroc, or for example like Gardevoir with puzzle and stuff. In the Zoroark Gardevoir deck, for example, only played 2, but other than that you always see 4. But here we only see 1. And yeah, 1N. Our draw support, or one of our draw supporters, we will get into the most insane draw supporter like soon, but yeah, 1N. Which is a nice like disrupting option and comeback option. 2 Hex Maniac, which is pretty important in a meta game where everyone wants to use like their Shamans and their Exeggcute and their Zoroarks and their whatever basically. So yeah, you have 2 Hex Maniac to block your opponent from using these abilities. And last but not least, probably the most insane draw supporter in expanded, and especially in this deck. Like, I mean, usually it's in some decks it's pretty useless, but here it's like super broken, which is why we play 3, even though we have Verseeker. Chorus. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw a number of cards equal to the number of benched Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's. That means if you have a Scalefield in play, technically, and both of you have 8 bench Pokemon, you get to draw 16 cards. And even if both players only fill up their regular bench space of 5, you still get to draw 10 cards. And 10 cards in a deck that also can trade multiple times for free each turn seems pretty good. So yeah, we have 3 Chorus. For our item cards, there we get to like more common counts again, because yeah, there's no special expanded card that says take back an item from your discard pile. I mean, we have puzzle, but that's a different story. That's something we also have in standard. So yeah, we have Verseeker. For people who don't know it, it's basically just put a supporter from the discard pile into your hand. That's it. Pretty simple card, pretty good card. And also disliked by a lot of people. For Ultra Ball, I mean, is there even any deck that doesn't play for Ultra Ball, like in any format? Maybe like Wailord if they only play Dive Ball or something, but I mean, Ultra Ball is just so strong. It has been a staple ever since it was released, and yeah, in a deck that can use it for free, seems pretty good. Then we have 4 Puzzle of Time, staple in Zoroark decks, get back 2 cards, and we draw so many cards each turn that it's pretty easy to get 2 puzzle at the same time. So 4 of them. Then we have 2 Battle Compressor, which is nice to get supporters in your discard for Verseeker. Also nice to get useless cards out of your deck, and especially nice to get 3 Exeggcutes in your discard pile so you can use them. So that's basically like an Ultra Ball for 3 Exeggcutes, if you want to put it that way, which is pretty strong. Then we have 2 Field Blower. Finian only used 1 in his list in Costa Mesa, but yeah, he lost to Garbodor, and Garbodor's probably going up in popularity now. So playing 2 seems reasonable, especially if you think about that someone like Tord used to play like 3 or 4 at the beginning in his Zoroark deck. So 2 seems like even 2 is a downgrade from that age basically. But yeah, 2 is reasonable enough. Then we have 2 red cards. In like combination with Ghetsis or Hexmaniac, the card is insanely strong because you can you put your opponent to 4 cards and prevent them from using Lele or Trade, or you just put them to 4 cards and shuffle all the items that they have in these cards into their deck, so they're left with like ideally 0 but maybe 1 or 2 cards, which is also pretty nice. Then we have 1 Rescue Stretcher, just getting back Pokemon, pretty simple. And 1 Communication. That's also something you can use very well with Exeggcute, because you can just grab an Exeggcute, shuffle it into your deck, and then ideally you have another Battle Compressor to get the Exeggcute out of your deck again. So you basically search a Zoroark, for example, for free, or Shaman, and then you thin out your deck even, and then you like can draw even more cards. So yeah, that's also pretty good. And then we have our ace spec is going to be Computer Search, another card that we can use for free thanks to Exeggcute. Discard 2 cards from your hand and search your deck for a card. Pretty strong. Then we also have, for our tools, we have 2 Floatstone, just so we can draw into it and have free treat, which is pretty nice. And 2 Choice Band. So with Choice Band, Skyfield, and a filled up bench, we can deal 210 damage, which is a pretty okay amount, I would say, compared to Zoroark's 120 in standard, or 150 with Choice Band, and that's already strong. So yeah, doing 210 seems pretty good. And last but not least, for our stadiums, we have 3 Skyfields. As I said, each player can have 8 Pokemon on their bench. It's pretty broken in the Zoroark deck, let's be honest. And but I mean, there's no point in just telling you that these cards are broken. I would rather show you how broken they are or how good they are, and that's why I will go right into the 2 games. So it looks like we're playing the most common matchup currently, Mirror Match. Not that big of a surprise, to be honest. Okay, losing the coin flip is already not the best way to start the game. Oh, starting hand is also pretty bad. Hopefully we can get a nice top deck. Okay, looks like we're not playing a mirror. Also looks like his start is quite decent. If he pulls out a Ghetsis now, then okay, at least he's not going for Ghetsis, which is smart, because I mean, if his Ghetsis would fail, then he would just put himself at a very tough spot, and now he can just grab 3 Zoroarks ideally. That's always better than just hoping to get some item cards off your opponent's hand. Especially in a matchup where the one that sets up better just wins, usually. Like this one. Okay, he grabs another Mischievous and passes. Okay, another Zoroark, but I guess that's it. Ooh, that's rough. I think it's pretty impossible for him to whiff DC. He has so many outs for Zoroarks, and then every trade just increases odds of getting his DC. Right now he's probably thinking about what to discard with Ultra Ball. He's using Puzzle. Yeah, that's probably gonna be Puzzle for 2, right? It actually isn't. Okay, that's interesting. Looks like his hand is pretty bad. What that means... Now it's our time to finally do something. Just... There's so many outs in the deck. Just give me one. Okay, that's definitely one. But what are we going for right here? I mean, we're definitely using computer search, that's for sure, and we also don't want to keep Zoroark, so we can definitely discard these two. But now it's the question, what are we taking? I could take another Zoroark, which doesn't seem too bad, because I can still puzzle back computer search, worst case. And I still haven't played the supporter, so... let's just go for another Zoroark. I mean, I have the guaranteed KO because I have DC and I can always just get back the Exeggcute, so the Zoro is definitely going down this turn. But it would be nice to, for example, bench a Sudowoodo myself, limit his options for next turn. Okay, that's a little, that doesn't really help me too much. Or does it? I mean, if I bench Sudowoodo in the current spot, that definitely means I don't bench anything else because of his Sudowoodo. I also can't go... Well, actually... What am I talking about? That's not parallel. I can actually bench two. I can actually go for the KO on Sudowoodo. I can Lele for Guzma, then puzzle back computer search. Yeah, I like that. I will put my Sudowoodo in play while KOing his Sudowoodo. I like that. Yeah, Sudowoodo's in there. So now we're using... do we want anything else back? No, so I use Guzma first so I can just grab back the Guzma as well. Even though I'm probably discarding it anyways again. Yeah, but still, let's just do it. So we grab up his Sudowoodo. Now with Propagation. Now we get back Computer Search and Guzma. Even though I will most likely I will just discard the Guzma again. Or do I just discard one Zoroark? I guess I discard Zoroark. So then we grab... Or do we grab a Shaman? Nah, we want the guaranteed Sudowoodo. So I bench the Sudowoodo. So he's definitely getting rid of Shaman. Then one Mischievous, and then... the other Mischievous, Zoroark. I mean, if he gets rid of Lele, he loses to DCE. Not too bad, I guess. And now the Mischievous. Or does he actually debate to... Yeah, I was gonna say. So now we just Propagation this boy back. And then we take the KO. Okay, Skyfield, that's something we can just trade away next time, because this Skyfield is most likely gonna stick. If I'm not mistaken, that's just Chaos View, right? Yeah. So unless he has an E-Hammer as well, that's completely fine. So I guess we're hoping that he doesn't have an E-Hammer. Okay, red card. That's completely fine with me. Especially if I draw a hand like this. Okay, now that's gonna be a Sudo. That's gonna be Shaman. Okay. Also, I'm pretty sure at this point that he doesn't play X in his deck, because first of all he plays like the Mischievous stuff, and second of all he hasn't discarded one yet. And if you play multiple ones, the odds of drawing into one at least at this point are very high, so I'm thinking he doesn't play them. Which makes him very weak for the mirror match, because he, like, whenever I Sudowoodo or just get rid of his bench space, he just can't discard stuff he can easily get back. I know he gets all the traits. I mean, as I said, as long... I mean, does he even... I mean, he has to draw into Psychic Energy now and Enhanced Hammer. He needs those 2 cards, otherwise I can just do whatever I want. If he only E-Hammers, then I can just attach another DCE. If he only Chaos Wheels, then I just take the KO. Okay, I guess he plays X after all. Took him down to his last 20 cards to C1. You know, it's gonna be interesting. If he has the E-Hammer and the Psychic Energy. He should have definitely traded first, because Computer Search can always get you the card you would trade into, and then you have more options. Okay. So I guess if he plays Enhanced Hammer, then I'm pretty much screwed right now. I mean, I can still, like, pull up something with Guzma and then hope that he doesn't have a way to just retreat or something. He didn't even have to... Okay, yeah. I was like, didn't he even have to use his second Computer Search? But he did. Okay, so we get rid of this and this. Not really care too much about this float zone, because it only matters if I decide to Guzma exactly that one. So... I guess okay, I can't attach tools, that's right. Yeah, then I will set up first. Gets his... Does he have the puzzle still in hand? I'm not really sure if he does. Yeah, we want to draw into Guzma. I mean, we won't Shaman anymore, so might as well grab another Zoroark, I guess. I mean, the thing is, he won't win off of Chaos Leading me every turn, because he only deals 10 damage and eventually will just take out, so that's fine. So let's see what he has. Okay, items only and an Exeggcute. Sure. Okay, I definitely have a Guzma for next turn. So right here I'm just gonna pass. Next turn I can just Battle Compressor the Guzma away, and then Versica for Guzma. I mean, that won't win him the game. I mean, he needs like 16 more just to KO 1. And now I'm even trying my best to make it tougher for him. So this is gone for sure. We will never need Bridget anymore. And Guzma. A Reverse Seeker for the Guzma. We can also like trade. We will never need Skyfields, and in case we end, we can just keep them. There's no reason to not trade twice here. We're in no danger of being the one to deck out right now. I guess that means we can use an Ultra Ball for free, which is pretty nice, I would say. So, yeah. That also means one more trade. For my supporter card for next turn, for my Pokemon that I put up, I will definitely not put up Exeggcute, because that would mean he could actually take a knockout with Chaos Wheel. That's what I want to prevent, so I will just promote another Zoroark. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter what we take, but he can retreat Shaman with a Psychic Energy, so we go for a Zoroark. Promote our Zoroark, and yeah, then we just pass again. So he has one Exeggcute and one unknown card in his hand. He still has access to double puzzle once. He has one Guzma in there and no Verse Seeker. Yeah, but with the thing is, with every Guzma, we force him to trade, and with every trade, he sees more, like he draws more cards. He has to use more cards, and as I said, he won't win by just Chaos Wheeling. That's just way too slow. If he retreats, yeah. He just retreats, now he damages me for 10, and then I will just do the same, and he just loses resources. I won't even trade anymore, because my current card count is still higher than his, and I also like have more cards in hand, so there's no need for me to currently trade. I have so many options in my hand that I don't really have to trade. Even if I can like force him to lose all of his DCEs, that would also be a big accomplishment, because that means he definitely can't win the game anymore. Because as it's now, he just tries to like lock me as long as possible, and then eventually he will probably just switch into attacking me. But if I get rid of his DCEs, he just won't even have the option to go for the attacking play. So we just Guzma all the time. We don't really care about the Verse Seeker. I mean, I still have one double puzzle left. How many Verse Seeker do I have left? Probably one. Yeah, one Verse Seeker and two puzzles. Yeah, he only has one DCE left. I mean, technically I could just wait for him, but why? I can just let him use his resources. Goes my this one again. I'm pretty sure he's at a point where he can't win anymore, because I still have N in my deck, and if he uses stuff, he will eventually come down to like 6 cards overall, so I can just end it. But he won't drop ice with Chaos Wheel. So if he just just Chaos Wheels this turn again, I will just pass. I will just straight up pass, because I mean, how many Hexmaniac? I mean, he didn't play any Hexmaniac yet, but he also, I'm still not sure if he actually plays 4X, because we have seen so few of them. Now there's his last double puzzle. It's gonna be for either 2 DCEs or 1 DCE and like a Verse Seeker or a Guzma, which is basically the same because he wants the Guzma. He actually goes for... That means he only has 1 DCE left in his entire deck. Well, I mean, that's completely fine with me. I will just pass here. And the funny thing is, I mean, technically to win he has to take all of his knockouts with Chaos Wheel, which can't happen because of his cards. And the one turn he switches into Zoroark, then he only draws 2 prizes. I mean, his strategy could work if he was down to 2 prizes, but just going for Chaos Wheel straight away for 10 damage each turn, that's completely pointless. That's pretty funny actually, because like as it's now, maybe he's hoping for me to just concede, but he can't win anymore. It's pretty funny. Or I would at least be very surprised, because he only has 1 DCE left. So if he switches into 1 Zoroark once, I just KO the 1 Zoroark, and then yeah, we're back to square one. Alright, that's my double puzzle. But we will wait. I will wait until he has one card left in deck, because that means he wants to end the turn. So he can't Guzma as well. And yeah, that's the strategy. I mean, he could retreat now and then like go for the KO, but yeah. I mean, so now he's down to one card, so next turn he will end for sure. Which means I will just go ahead, double puzzle. Where am I? Versica to Versica. Zoroark, put up my Zoroark, and then yeah, you can either play Guzma, which loses you the game to deck out, or you can retreat with a DCE. That means you lose because you can never Rage Speeding. So he's just checkmate now. Even if he has an N, doesn't matter, he just loses. Unless he has floats on that N, that's still something that could happen. But even if he has floats on N, then he uses 2 resources, doesn't draw a prize, so that puts him back at the spot where he where he just will deck out eventually. If it's not now, then it will be later. Because he can't... I mean, technically he would have to take like 11 times... Like, the lowest amount of time he needs is 7 more times into this guy, 4 times into this guy, so that's already 11 times. And then he only took 4 prizes. Okay, he uses... That means he that definitely means he doesn't play N. Okay, that's interesting, because now I can make it even tougher for him to win, because I just get rid of the Shaman. I get rid of the Exeggcute. What does that mean? He wants to switch into attacking mode now? I still have one Scaffold left though. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, I mean, he just realized that he can't win anymore. And, yeah. This is how you beat your opponent with his own weapon. Okay, looks like we're playing against Hokiava. Or at least, like, some kind of fire deck. Like Volcanion, Ho. Wait, he's... Okay, yeah, that's definitely Hokiava then, if he has, Psychic as a secondary type on the box, because that's gonna be the Dawnwings. I'm pretty sure Dawnwings Necrozma is its name. Yeah. My hand is not looking too good, but I have a computer search, so I will at least be able to grab a supporter if I don't draw into one. And yeah, that's the whole. But there's nothing to be worried about, to be honest, because if I can get the setup I want to have, then I can just one-shot the Ho, and then he loses all of his energies. Okay, he plays N. That's very nice, because it first of all means he doesn't use Kiava, and second of all, I can get a different hand. And that's a better hand. That's what I like to see. Skyfield would have been pretty cool here, because then I could Shaman as well, but yeah, I will just go for the Lele, hope that Bridget is not in there, unfortunately. I won't go for the Getses because he only has 4 cards in hand. So it actually means I won't get everything and have to use my N. Or do I just Getses regardless? Because my hand is... I guess I just Getses here, because I still have I already have a Zoroark in hand, and I have Shaman for the worst case. I will actually... it makes sense to Shaman first, so let's attach floats on here, let's bench Zoroark. Then let's Shaman. If I draw enough basics, I could also Chorus. Okay. Yeah, I still won't count that as enough base. Or do I want to use a different supporter? I could Hex Maniac, but if he for some reason has the KO on my Zoroark, then I don't have any Zoroarks left. So let's just go for all the Exeggcutes. Also, the non-GX Zoroark is pretty decent against this matchup. Let's hope that he has some items. Okay, he has one item. Okay, I guess that's fine. Getting rid of these two cards, and I guess I should have kept the Floatstone in case he doesn't KO my Exeggcute. But I wanted to draw more cards, so it definitely made sense. Could have also touched the Floatstone active, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Especially after knowing how his hand was, because it's... I hope he's gonna N again, because even though I have draw support, I would rather have a hand that I can play down first before using his draw supporter. But no, he goes for the Sycamore, which makes sense because we know two of the cards are at least fire energy, so yes, there was no real reason to not just grab Sycamore and ditch the fire energies. But it also means unless he has like energy switch or something, he won't take the KO. I mean, he could also use double Maxitix and then retreat and Shell Trap into Exeggcute, but that doesn't make sense. Okay. Question is, do we N? How do we get this? I mean, I guess the answer is always we N. Because N guarantees us cards. But first of all, we definitely grab one Zoroark. Of course, we grab the good one first. Might use the non-GX in the late game, but currently it doesn't make any sense to set up anything else than this one. I mean, I could also... I guess I could trade first and then... I could also just Colress first, because Colress is 6 as well. And then I don't use my N. On the other hand, Colress can be more. This is always 6. Let's just go for the N. Ooh. With a Skyfield, that would be pretty sick, because... I mean, even without Skyfield, that's pretty good. Because I can still... like bench my two Zoroarks. But with a Skyfield I could bench Sudowoodo as well. Okay. Then we just go ahead and bench these guys, and yeah, then we pass. So just as a reminder, foul play, choose one of the Pokemon defending his attack and use this attack. So even if he were to use like Sacred Fire this turn, like to execute, to knock out Exeggcute, I could still go for the foul play into Phoenix Burn. But that always requires me to use a Choice Band. I would rather have the Choice Band onto this one. Or would I? I mean, I guess if he doesn't attach more energies to the Turtonator, then... Yeah, but he can always... Okay, that's interesting. This time we trade first for sure. With the double puzzle, there are so many like insane options that I could go for, depending on what I draw. Okay, we get another Zoroark GX. Okay, that doesn't really help us. I mean, I could double puzzle for like communication for another Zoroark and then compressor as well, but I don't think that's worth it. So I think I really don't want to bench this guy. No, I won't, because I want to have another GX. I re-red card him, hoping that we can do something, and then we Colress for 9. Which is still a decent amount. It's not 16, but it's okay, I guess. Okay. I think that should be everything to definitely is enough. So what do we not need anymore? Hexmaniac is like, it's decent against the matchup, but we can always Versica for it. And I guess that's it. Everything else might come in handy. I guess Guzma. I have 4 Versica in deck. Yeah, let's ditch the Guzma as well. So we have the floats on here. The choice band here. DCE here, and then we just go ahead and... Do we even need to bench all of them? I mean, that's currently 2, 4, 6, 8. I actually don't. So there's no reason to. So he just attack for 190. Okay, that's another GX. Rock. What? What? What am I seeing? Shell trap. So it's 20, that would be 80, 140. Holy. Yeah, so I guess we... Of course I draw the Lele, so that rubs like, you shouldn't have discard the Guzma. I definitely want to go for a Guzma here. Or at least a Field Blower. One of those two options. Okay, he just concedes because he just sees that I have so many options and will every turn. I will take 2 more KOs without him taking all of the 6 prizes. And yeah. That's gonna be it for the 2 games. I hope you enjoyed them.